Greetings gastronauts, this is KeefCooks, I'm Keef, and today, at the risk of coming across as someone who's obsessive about long, eggy things, I'm going to show you, well, I'm going to have a go at making a long Scotch egg. Oh no, Keefy, when are you going to do some more proper food? Well, soon, next time, probably, I think. But there's a lot you can do with long eggs, I think. Anyway, if you don't know what a Scotch egg is, it's a boiled egg wrapped in a thin layer of sausage meat, coated in breadcrumbs and then fried. And it's delicious, hot or cold, frequently eaten on picnics. But the commercial ones you get are normally awful. Because, well, to me, because what I want out of a Scotch egg is a runny yolk in the middle, and that's kind of hard to achieve, certainly on an industrial basis. Anyway, I think with my idea for the long Scotch egg, it's going to be perfect. It really is going to have, you know, quite a moist yolk, and that's going to be wonderful. And an extra bonus, it won't have any egg white, because that's boring, bland and rubbish, isn't it? So, never done this before, but let's do it. So for the long Scotch egg, I've got the long egg things that I used before. So that's the outer tube with the cap, the inner Teflon tube, the silicone lining and the spray, oil cooking spray. For the actual edible bit, I've got 500 grams of minced pork, that's 12% fat. I've got about 70 grams of breadcrumbs. I've got the yolks, I'm going to have the yolks of 5 eggs. And I've got my seasoning mix, which is 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon white pepper, 2 teaspoons sage, half teaspoon of paprika, and a teaspoon of hickory smoke powder. And those last two are completely optional, and they're just my thing because I quite fancy a slightly hot, smoky sausage around my egg yolk. And also a bit of water. And you will need some more breadcrumbs and possibly a bit of egg white for things later on, and some oil for cooking it in. So let's get going. Oh, the other thing, the sous vide, the immersion circulator, I've set that to 70. So this is going to be the great thing about this long Scotch egg, is that the meat will be cooked at 70 degrees Celsius. But the egg yolk cooks and starts to thicken at 65 Celsius. At 70, it actually sets, so that's, you know, what I consider overcooked. So I'll be able to jiggle about with the temperatures and achieve perfection, I hope. So I'm going to make up my sausage meat. You don't have to do this, in fact. You can buy ready-made sausage meat, but make sure you get a good one. Or you can buy good sausages and get the meat out of them. But I'm doing it the hard way, as always. So actually, I need to mix all that seasoning together so I can use it. So I've got an empty herb or spice container, and I think I want a little funnel. There we are, little funnel. Just chuck everything in. Okay. Give that a really good shake. So I think I'll probably use all of that because I do like a highly seasoned sausage, as it were. One thing about British sausages is they do have filler in them. That's the breadcrumbs, although an actual butcher would use rusk. Okay, I'm not using all of that. And you might think it cheapens the product, it just, you know, extends or makes it seem like there's more meat in the sausage. That isn't the case. The bread is there, or the rusk is there, to absorb the fat from the meat and give it a looser, juicier texture. I've had arguments with people about this online when I've made sausages before, and they're just wrong. If it doesn't have the filler, it's not a proper British sausage. So there. Anyway, mix that as much as you can. And it doesn't actually matter if it, you know, develops a kind of paste-like texture. We kind of want that. And maybe just a little splash of water. Righty-ho, I'm going to make a tube of meat. So actually I'll probably have enough stuff here, well, enough meat, sausage meat, to make a couple of these things. Okay, well that's long enough, so let's try and wrap it round the tube. Just cut off the excess that you can't see. Now, yeah, it's far too fat. Yeah, it's kind of tricky to gauge the size of this. I hope this isn't going to turn out to be another long experiment fiasco, but you never know. Do you know what I'm thinking? I think we'll dispense with this, and I'll just maybe wrap that in foil. Right, so here's some aluminium foil, and I'll just roll it up, twizzle the end shut, and pop it in the water bath, which is at 70 degrees Celsius. I think we need a bit more water to bring the level up, and I need to cook a blob of sausage meat to seal the open end with when we take out the placeholder and put the egg yolk in. Wish me luck with that. So I'll just wrap that in foil and chuck that in as well. I actually don't know how long that's going to take to cook, because you know, I'm inventing this, there's no information. So what I'll do, I'll give it half an hour, then I'll check the temperature inside, you know, on the inner face of the meat, and if it's 70 then it'll be cooked. If it isn't, we'll keep on cooking it. Right, it's had 45 minutes actually, so it wasn't quite there at 30 minutes. So let's see if it's there now. Maybe a few more minutes, but well, actually I could take it out now, because it's considered cooked and safe to eat at like 62, so it's well over that. Okay, it's 69. I'll take it out. Boop. So I'm keeping it upright in this glass because there is some cooking juice floating around the top there that I don't want to lose. And also, where's our plug for the top? Get him out as well. And now I'm going to let this cool down to 65 to do the egg yolks, and I actually need to separate those egg yolks out, don't I? So when you're separating out your egg whites, it's a good idea to use 3 bowls, one for the whites, one for the yolks, and one to actually work in, just in case you mess up and you break a yolk, because then you haven't ruined everything. So I'll put the egg whites in the fridge, and I've got a feeling there could be a meringue coming up sometime soon. That'll keep for a few days in the fridge, or you can actually freeze egg whites as well, so don't be worrying about wastage. I'll just whiz up my yolks. 66.4, that's coming down quite nicely. Okay, possibly tricky bit, get the rod out the centre. Oh, easy peasy. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, that is a tube of porky goodness. Actually, I need to peel away this so I can get closer to the action. Right, let's pop the yolks in. So here's the plug. Now this is where I'm getting a bit worried, because I don't know if this will actually stick on. I'll just trim it down to the sort of diameter of the outside tube. Oh yeah. Right, bung that on there. I'll pop this in, and I think half an hour should do it. Okay, it's had 35 minutes, so I'll turn it off, and let's see what we've got. What we've got is a disaster. Well, the egg yolk is totally runny. The cap, or you know, the meat cap plug is not stuck on. Yeah, that's way too runny to do anything with. So I think maybe I'll cook it for a bit longer, higher, and I'll cut this cap down to actually be a plug that will fit inside the hole at the top of the tube. Oh dear. Why do I do these things? I don't know, Keefy. Why do you do them? Right, so there's the meat plugged into the top of that, and I'll just cover him over with the foil, but also as a precaution I'm going to put the whole thing in a Ziploc bag, because we have been getting a lot of water penetration, I think. I've turned the temperature of the water up to 70 now. Okay, I think I can keep that submerged with a bowl. Yeah, baby. I'll give that another half hour. Alrighty, it's had half an hour, so fingers crossed. Let's see what we've got. I've got a bag with some water in it. We've got some unpleasant looking gunk. Oh, it smells good though. It smells like Scotch eggy kind of smell. Okay. Well, yeah, that looks actually looks okay. So I think we can finish this off, and then I will be the first person in the world ever to have long Scotch egg. Right, this is getting a bit exciting now. We're ready to just coat the long Scotch egg in breadcrumbs and fry it, and then we can taste it. So, got a load of flour, cover the log in it. Now I've got a load of breadcrumbs. I always make my own breadcrumbs because I'm a cheapskate and they're better. Oh, do you know what I forgot? I've got to egg that before I crumb it. I knew there was something. That's why I've got all this egg white, and that'll make the crumbs stick. Make sure you do the ends and try not to snap it, because that would be a disaster. We are not at home to Mr. Disaster today. Really. You could double coat it if you wanted it extra crunchy on the outside, but I want to get this done before it goes dark. Right, I've got a bit of oil in a pan, and it's on medium heat. I'll chuck a bit of bread in and see. Yeah, it's kind of bubbling. It's not quite hot enough. And clean eating brigade, worried about that. It won't kill you, you know. And don't put this in the oven, honestly. Right, let's cook this baby, as it were. We just want it to be sort of golden brown. Okay, I reckon that's ready, so let's get them out of there and cut them open and see what we got. Are you ready? Are you sure? Shall I? Okay then. I think we might have got a disaster. That's yeah. Well, it's soft, but it's not runny, and it's kind of grey. So I wonder what's going on there. Possibly it's absorbed colour and stuff from the meat. But anyway, let's see what it tastes like. Oh, you got to make this. It tastes fantastic. Oh, it's wonderful. Well, it might not look great, but by heck, it tastes good. So, yeah, long Scotch egg, nearly. Brilliant. I am the first man on the moon with a long Scotch egg. How about that? Okay, it's the next day. So, despite my massive enthusiasm for the flavour of the one I made yesterday, it really was lovely. I wasn't at all keen on the way it looked. It looked awful. Mainly because there was no white, and so the yolk had, you know, I think it had absorbed meat juices, which had changed its colour, and also, you know, it's surrounded by brown stuff. So it just looked unappetising. So I've been thinking about what I can do now, and you know, I've got about half of the sausage meat mixture that I made up yesterday left over, so I can use that. So it's not going to be a full length long Scotch egg, but it's going to be fairly long. In fact, it's going to be, I guess, almost as long as that pan is tall. So let's get going. Right, so for this Mark II version, we are going to have a standard long egg. with sausage meat wrapped around it, wrapped in breadcrumbs, fried. And so I'm going to use the smaller thing that I made for the original long egg, which is, it's about 30mm internal diameter, and I've also reconstructed or remade the spacers for the inner rod. These are now thick cardboard wrapped in aluminium foil, which I think will be more food safe than MDF. In fact, I know they will. Right, so first thing to do is make an egg white tube. So I've separated 4 eggs into yolks and whites. I've got the water coming up to 70 degrees Celsius, and now I'm going to assemble the tube thing. So usual drill, I need to oil my silicone sheet bits to make them truly non-stick. And that goes in the end cap. And the liner, pop the liner into the tube. Okay, that's looking good. And now we're trying to get the inner rod in, but I think I can't do it while it's got the spacer on. Let's see if we can do it this way. It's a very tight fit. Okay, I think. So now we put the end cap on. I think we're going to have a problem getting this inner tube out when it comes to the time. So I think I'm going to go in the man shed and take a couple of centimetres off that. Right, that was easy. Now get the egg white in. I'll just have a quick check to figure out how far up it needs to go. So round about where my fingers are. In we go. Of course, I can't tell how high up it's going, but now I know that was too much. Oh, I'm having so much fun. Right, I'm going to fit the spacer on the top so that the rod is perfectly centered, and I'm not going to film that because I just know it'll go wrong. Right, he's had an hour, so let's have another go. Fingers crossed. Let's take the spacer off and see what's what. That really does feel quite firm. I'll just see if there's any uncooked white that we can pour off, and there is a bit, not a lot. So let's, actually there is a lot. Okay, let's unscrew the end. There we go, the silicone bit, the spacer. Right. Yeah, that feels better, but it isn't. That's still not good enough. Right, not doing it today. Come back tomorrow, okay? Right folks, got an announcement to make. I am a 100% pure gold prize nincompoop. Yes, I am. Because that egg white that I cooked at 70 degrees Celsius yesterday should have been cooked at 85. So that's had half an hour at 85, and fingers crossed it'll work. So there's the bit of silicone, there's the foil spacer, and there is the solid egg white. Yes. So we'll just pull it out. We want to keep the rod in for the time being. So how about that? Fabulous. So I'm going to let that cool down a little bit, and then I'll coat it in the meat. Right, so I've rolled out my meat quite thickly, and I've also just coated the egg white a little bit in flour, because that will help the meat stick on. I could have made a full length one, couldn't I? Because there's a lot of meat left there. Oh well. And I need some water. Here's some water. So I'll just roll this. Actually, before I roll it, I'm going to cut the end. No, I'm not. I'll leave that end as it is. I'll cut this end and roll it up and water to help it stick together. So just work that to get a nice smooth joint and then seal this end. Right, I've got the water temperature down to 70 degrees Celsius. So now I'm going to wrap the meat in foil, and I've got these 2 bits left over. That'll be the end cap for that. That'll be my breakfast. So I'm going to wrap those in foil as well and chuck them in. And this needs to go in a Ziploc bag to stop water getting in, because we know that happens. And then it goes in there for half an hour. Okie dokie. I've tested the temperature a couple of times and it wasn't up to 70. So after, what, 50 minutes, I think we should be there. So this is the spare bit, and you want your probe into the middle. It's 65, so it still needs maybe another 10 minutes. Okay, let's get him out. Unzip the bag. Grab hold of the lollipop. And carefully remove the foil, because we still need this. Oh, that's come apart there. Flipping heck. Oh, taste. Oh. Hey, that's finger licking good. So I want to lower the temperature of this now to 65. No, 63.5. Apparently will give us a runny egg. Right, so I need to get the rod out, and there's the nice tube of egg white in the middle. And now I need the egg yolks. Forgot about that. Okay, let's chug it in there. Look at the colour of that. It's amazing. And not only is it amazing, it's also not enough. I might need another egg yolk. Possibly 2. And yeah, you spotted that, didn't you? I didn't. So that is a total disaster. And well, what can I do? I think I'm going to eat that anyway somehow. It's not the next day, it's about a week later, and I think I've recovered from the trauma of my previous efforts. Anyway, what I've realised is I've got to do it in this order. I've got to do the egg white, then put the egg yolk in, and then do the meat coating. Because, well, because of temperatures and not overcooking stuff. So I've decided to moderate my desire to have a runny yolk, because I don't think that's going to be achievable. So a set yolk, but not a massively set one, should do it. So I've cooked a tube of egg white, I hope, and all I need to do is get the spacer off and get the Teflon rod out. I know what, vacuum. I need to unscrew the end to release the you know, so we get some air coming in so that the thing will come out, if you know what I mean. Okay, there's Rodney out, and so I'll put the end cap back on. I get people commenting all the time. They say, why don't you just boil an egg? And sometimes I wonder, but this is fun, isn't it? Yes, Keefy. Right, there's our tube of egg white, and so let's throw in the yolk. And I'm pretty sure it won't come out the other end this time. I'm going to need another yolk, possibly 2. That was 5. Right, so one more yolk, and it's very nearly up to the top of the egg white. So I think we'll be okay with that. Well, we will be. Now pop it in the water, which I've got heating to 75 degrees Celsius. Pop this in, and I'm going to give that at least half an hour and then test whether the yolk is set enough. If it will stand up. I've got an idea. A little shot glass might keep it stable, or might make it top heavy and cause it to fall over completely. Who knows? Yay! No! Yay. Okay, later. So, half an hour later, ouch, that's hot. Let's just see what we've got. Have we got set egg yolk of any description? Yeah, further down, the bit at the top isn't, because it wasn't submerged in water. Or, you know, below the water level. Right, so what I've got now is a load of cold water, and I'm just going to pop that in there to chill for about 15 minutes. So while that's chilling, I can roll out my meaty mixture. Now this is more or less the same as what I made last week, except I've added a little bit more water and I've kneaded it more, so it's more of a pasty consistency, which with a bit of luck will stop it from cracking. I've turned the temperature down on that to 70 Celsius because that's the temperature for cooking pork at without overcooking it. Need a bit of flour on there to stop it sticking. And now, drum roll please. Let's get the long egg out of the cold water, which is wet. How about that? Wet water. We've got everything here. We've also got a suspicious looking dribble coming out of the open end, which, well, we'll see. I think we've got something worth having there. I'm just going to trim off this end because that's where there wasn't quite enough yolk. Oh, that yolk. Oh, look. Runny, slightly runny, but not too runny. Just the way I want it. So I'll pop him on the meat. Oh, how excited are you? I'm very excited. We'll keep the extra on the ends so we can seal it. Oh, don't split, don't split. Right, water, and just work at it. Let's wrap them in foil and then pop them in the Ziploc bag. Okay, seal that, and I think that took about half an hour last time. But, you know, we'll check the temperature after that time. Fingers crossed. Okay, it's actually had about an hour. So let's fish out a big one. The world's first long Scotch egg. TM, I hope. And let's get him out. Interesting juicy leakage inside the bag. I'm keeping that. That'll be right tasty, that juice. Dear, here we go again. Drum roll. Well, from where you're looking, that's a perfect long Scotch egg. From where I'm looking, it's bloody split again. Pardon my French. However, what shall I do? I'm going to have to make it again, aren't I? But I will have a trial run of finishing this off, which I probably won't film. So, later. Right, here we are again. This one is going to work. It's going to be perfect. Okay? All right? Got it? Yeah. So I think what happened yesterday was I didn't have enough overlap of the meat to get a good seal. And the other thing that happened that you won't have seen is that the meat wrapper shrinks, but the long egg doesn't. So when you cut it in half, the meat then, or the egg, then expands so it sticks out from the cut end. Anyway, so I'm going to try and leave a bit of space for expansion within the meat package. So here's yet another long egg. I can just knock these out anytime I want now. It's brilliant. And let's roll him. See, there's lots and lots of overlap there. And press it down, get a good seal, really important. And press together the ends. And we want to get the water up to 70. Forgot that. All right, that looks like a pretty convincing Scotch egg meat package, and I'm going to pop them in a plastic bag. I'm not going to wrap them in foil this time, mainly because I've run out, but also I'm not sure it is necessary. This bag will keep it safe from the water, or stop it dissolving in the water. I know that looks disgusting, but that's what you get with long things. So water's almost up to temperature. I'll pop it in there and I'll give it a good 45 minutes. Well, here we are. We have a pretty good looking package of meat, no splits and egg inside. So there's quite a lot of liquid come off there. I'm going to tip that out into a bowl, and I'll keep that because that'll be good in a sauce or a gravy or something. Okay. And what we need to do now is get it out the bag. Come on, baby, come on. Coat it in breadcrumbs and fry it lightly till it's golden brown, and then it's done. So, bit of flour first of all. I know this doesn't look appetizing at all, but it will do. Okay, some beaten egg, and just roll the roll in there. And now breadcrumbs. I made these myself. They're actually made from white bread because that gives you a more golden colour. So now I've got a frying pan with some oil in it. I'm going to heat that up on medium heat until a chunk of bread sizzles when you put it in. Okay, the bread's slightly sizzling, so that's okay. And we'll just pop the long Scotch egg in. So we just want to keep turning this so it doesn't get burnt in any one place. I reckon that's done. Oh yeah. Just let the fat drain off on there. And finally, I give you a long Scotch egg. So let's, what should we do? Let's cut him open, eh? Oh yeah. That's me long Scotch egg. Fabulous. I am pleased that's over. So here's my long Scotch egg, looking absolutely perfectly the way it should, like a long Scotch egg. Actually, it looks like a pair of eyes staring at you. But anyway, I've already started eating it because it's just marvellous. Long Scotch egg. One of the hardest things to do on the planet, but well worth it, honest. Well, wasn't that fun? So somewhere there's a link to my playlist of other long eggy things, and if you love my channel and want me to keep going, you can become a patron on Patreon, and subscribe please, and something else, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, see you next time.